Hey, tonight's shave is this the brush we'll use is that darn Rob, and this is the Fanchurian knot. The tips are being a little not soft for me for the most part, so I want to put some more uses on it. It is described as a knot that's, I had a conversation with Rob online, and he said these tips are usually super soft. And so we're going to see if we can put more uses on this and see if they soften up a little bit. The write-up on his website said they would even gel, and or at least a lot of them do. My guess is it's not guaranteed, but maybe I'm wrong. So we'll put that on to soak for just a second. We're going to step back and resume use of my Nacet blade. We've got 50 dots on this side, 50 dots here, and then 5 right here. So this is the 106th shave. This envelope thing may actually fall apart before I finish using this blade. I don't know. My Sheraton right here has been the best shaver for this old blade in its smoothed out state. But for the long time, this was the best one. I'm going to step back and see if the Piccolo here still works. And this is the open comb base plate. This one came with the closed comb as well. And that's the same base plate as the Testina Gentile. Blade alignment can be an issue on these Fatips. So I just drop the blade in, kind of taking a natural attitude toward it. And what we do is we just see if it lines up right the first time without really any work, without working very hard. Man, that is really close. I think that's good. There we go. That was easy. Okay. The soap we're going to use today was a special around Black Friday. They released some new soaps. Stirling did. This one's Kaboom. Interesting story behind this one. He had the labels all printed up. Stirling did, and then all of a sudden, when he wanted it to be a surprise, so that's why nobody knew about it until it was being released. And then people said, Noble Otter just released a Kaboom scent a few months ago. It was a special edition. It was Victor and Rolf, I believe. Spice Bomb was their scent, and that's like a professional fragrance company. And so the Noble Otter was trying to put something together that was very similar to that. And so they called it Kaboom, Spice Bomb, Kaboom. Well, Stirling kind of had a similar idea. So he basically did the same thing. He said, oh man, okay, so I'm going to hold this back until I get new labels printed. Well, classy guy that they are at Noble Otter. They said, nah, don't reprint. We'll let you use the name. Don't worry about it. And but at Stirling, they said, I don't want to do that. I can't not give you something for it. I mean, there's class and honor going on between these companies, Noble Otter and Stirling, and it's good to be a part of that people. But what they settled on was, so-and-so wouldn't take anything, but then they insisted, all that. Well, where they landed was a portion of the sale of the Kaboom was going to go to a charity of Noble Otter's choosing, one of their favorite charities. And that's where they landed. So this is neat. And so this is a smaller puck, a smaller tub than is usual for Stirling. This is their 3-ounce tub. Maybe they realize because Stirling is generous, for $15, you get a big old tub of, I think, almost 6 ounces. So this is about half that. And I think they're realizing that they want people to buy more soaps, have a bigger library, if you will, instead of large quantities of single soaps. Maybe that's kind of what they're doing here. I don't know. But anyway, so here's Kaboom. It's got a nice scent off the puck. I hope it's not too faint once it's lathered. There's a chance it might be. But here we go. Just a standard looking Stirling soap. Stirling's a very good performer. It's not super top tier, but it's still in the very good category. So that means you're going to get a very enjoyable shave with it. All right, the blade's loaded. Let me go ahead and splash my face with water to get everything getting wet. All my whiskers, just to let them start to get wet as we build the lather. As usual, I'm going to do my method where I kind of shake off most of the water. And then I can't remember how it goes with Stirling. Let's just do 30 seconds of loading with medium pressure. Just see how that pans out. All right, gonna look at my clock here, and 45 is going right there. So at 6:15, we will stop. Nice scent coming up to my nose right here. Noble Otter is going to have the edge on performance, but that's okay because they're like twice the price, almost. So if you like that scent, but you don't, and you still want a good performing lather, but you don't want to pay quite as much, and there we go. Then maybe the Stirling version might be better for you. So that's 30 seconds. We will see how that translates. I'm going to rinse off the side of the can, side of the jar here. Cold water. Whew. I go to wash my brush. I'll probably have to bring in some warm just to get a effective clean off the brush. It's winter. Okay, so lather bowl. So I think I just have 6 or 8 uses on this brush. I love the ergonomics of this handle, and so I really want to, see if it'll work for me. Worst case, I got it on sale. Got it at a good price. So even if I have to yank this knot out and replace it with one that I know is really good, I'm fine with that. Oops, sorry. This one is a 2-band knot, and it's in the fan shape. As you can see, it's kind of got points and corners like a triangle. The bulb shape is more rounded. And then there are also some brushes that are kind of a hybrid, a shape that's between a bulb and a fan. All right, start adding some water. Whole teaspoon at a time right there. Stir kind of carefully at first so it doesn't slosh the water out. And I'm really curious. One of the things I've been thinking about is sometimes you get an airy lather. Are there some soaps where you really need to mix slowly? Most of them, I think it doesn't matter. But if you mix more slowly, maybe you introduce fewer air bubbles, you end up with a creamier lather. I don't know. I tried it during my Williams experimental month in August. It didn't seem to make too much difference. And it was actually kind of hard to control. My stirring hand wanted to go on autopilot the whole time and switch to my normal speed. Yeah, that's really good. Spicy, warm notes. Nothing like clove, that kind of harsh spiciness is not here in a dominant way. That's not what you're going to smell at first. Now this lather looks like it could be in a good spot. It also could be a little too dry. So what we're going to do is reach in there, grab Oh, Stirling is nice and slick. That's very good. So I'm gonna go with a little bit more water. And you know, I love different companies. Saponificio Veracino is an Italian company, and they just make such good soap base, and I like so many of their scents. I love Dr. John's. I like a lot of his scents, and his performance is very good. Barrister and Mann has got some real killers. Fine accoutrements. I like a whole lot of theirs. And so there are some soaps where, some companies where I could just stick with that brand for the rest of my life if I had to, you know, and I wouldn't be sad about it because they just have such good products. Stirling is one of those. Now, I was a little disappointed with their sandalwood. I'm a big sandalwood fan. I like for it to be kind of woody and authentic, but theirs is a little bit more on the sweet side. It's a different type of sandalwood, and so I don't really care for theirs. But they have a lot of cologne. I think that's most of what the Stirling scents that I have is the cologne type scents, like Sandpiper and Arcadia. Now there are some really cool ones like Mountain Man that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorites. But I like a lot of Stirling soaps. So we're just, right now I believe I'm probably at the point where I want to stop. So I'm just getting the lather to make sure that it's mixed well. And this is kind of what it looks like. You can see it's pretty soft. Pull some up here. Look how there are very few peaks and ridges and things like that. That's an attribute to look for and to see if you like your soaps that way. And then you can bookmark it in your mind. You know, when it gets to that point, then you know you're there. Or you maybe want to stop before you get to that point. It's just all up to you and how you want your soap. All right. One more little kind of mini splash of water. And we'll go ahead and brush. I'm not working with the same 24-hour growth I usually am. My shave yesterday, and this feels great by the way, my shave yesterday was not as good as usual because it was with a straight. And I'm not experienced yet with the straights to get a really the same shave that I do with a double edge. So I've got a little bit longer hair, but not too bad. I'm also interested to see about the comfort level. Because is my skin, is it tender from yesterday? It doesn't really feel like it yet. We'll see how it feels once a blade is scraping across it. All right. We'll just see. I think I got this Stirling lather to a really good spot. It looks good. Use number 106. How about that, folks? No problem. No tenderness, not really any pulling. The rinses nicely. I'm getting good good glide from the Stirling. It's just a really nice soap. Now my neck was the area with the straight yesterday that course gave me the most trouble because it's got hills and valleys and things for the blade to snag on. We'll see how it feels here. Nice smooth shave here. And there we go. Yesterday with the straight, I got one bleeder, and I didn't even put any alum or anything on it, or styptic pencil. It stopped on its own, no problem. So that one is a little sensitive right now, but not a problem. Pardon me. All right. It looks like, from what I can see, I'm really glad I did the 30 seconds. The lather looks terrific. Okay, this time I'm going to try to pay attention to the fragrance, the strength of it. The Noble Otter was also kind of weak scented. It wasn't strong. It wasn't right up in your face. This may be the same. Yeah, this lather's terrific. For me, the way I like it, this is dialed in perfectly. All right. As I stand here without agitating the air, I'm thinking it's a 2 or a 3 in terms of strength out of 10. While I was applying it, kind of wafting it around, it's bumping up to like a 4. Maybe a 5, but I'd say a solid 4 for me, and that is kind of within my realm of happiness. It's present as I'm shaving. If it's a scent that's going to take me somewhere, it's there enough to take me there, to bring back old memories, or make me feel like I'm in a certain season or a certain experience. And so as long as it does that, I'm fairly happy with it. Wish it was maybe a little stronger, but you know. One of the reasons they make the soaps sometimes so weak is just because of people's allergies and skin conditions and things. If they make the soap too strong, they sometimes end up alienating a certain group of people. But there are a couple of scents that are just so weak that they're nigh unscented. And my position is that by making it that weak, you're alienating another set of people who like to smell the smell when they're shaving. But, you know, the good news is we have so many great artisans out there. Right now, Summer Break has an excellent soap base. Noble Otter is a fairly new entry to the market. They have a great soap base, top tier, in my opinion, and probably in many opinions. Some new guys are coming into the market and doing really well. During that rinse, and as well with the one before that, I was getting an amazing sense of luxury and slickness as I was just rinsing things off. It's just an excellent feeling. Very welcome, and not a lot, you know, some soaps don't do that, but this one does. Stirling is slick. Some people actually have a problem lathering Stirling, and so if you do, maybe this video will help you. All right, loaded up the brush again, and let me take off a little bit of the water. Oh yeah, I just feel these tips just kind of scrubbing at me and poking at me. Hopefully with just some more uses they'll soften up. Very nice. Oh yeah, I'd say 4 or a 5 as far as strength goes for this soap. Really happy with that. That's good. That's good. And so it turns out this is either just as strong or maybe a hair stronger than the Noble Otter version. I think the Lather's probably a little better with the Noble Otter version, but I mean, they're both so good that, I mean, you know, quibbling over details. All right, third pass, I think. We're not getting any irritation. Other than kind of the brush. Kind of irritating my skin a little bit with its not soft tips. And of course the nick that I told you about yesterday, but I have not reopened it. Now with this particular open comb, there are lots of places for the droplets of water to hide, more so than other razors, and so I do have to do an extra couple of flicks, specifically or with the comb oriented, you know, up and down, so that I make sure I don't get a excessive water driplets up here when I'm trying to shave. And sometimes that makes the lather run when I don't want it to run. A little bit of irritation, tenderness here, maybe you know, carry over, like I said, from the straight shave. So I'm not surprised, but I am pleasantly surprised that it's that low. And let's rinse off this third pass. With this age of the blade, the cut and the closeness is the concern. You're not really going to get irritation due to the blade because it's so smoothed out. You're not really going to get a nick usually because it's so smoothed out. That the sharpness there just isn't going to bite you quite as much. What you're going to probably experience is in terms of negatives, is the lack of a close shave in the convex areas, concave areas like your neck. I get great shaves on my cheeks, even with this old blade, but the neck looks like I'll have to do another pass. And it looks like maybe that 30 seconds. What I was saying earlier was what I meant to say was glad I did the 30 seconds instead of the 20. You know, some soaps just need 20. But I have plenty of lather here to lay down a nice little layer right here. Careful, careful. Short strokes so that if I feel like I'm not cutting at the optimum angle, I can recheck and set the angle right. Stirling has so much secondary or residual slickness that you can do some of that buffing without hurting yourself. With other soaps that don't have that attribute, you better re-lather before you come at an area like that again. All right, let me rinse off my neck. So to be honest, I don't know if that last touch-up pass was all that fruitful, but I think most occupations you would not get in any kind of trouble going into work with this close of a shave that I have. Several of the hairs there do show a little bit of length, but it's still a very nice, very close shave. And wow, even this side over here, my technique was really good. It's just a small patch that's not baby butt smooth, and I didn't even go against the grain. I can't go against the grain on my neck because it stirs up cuts and rash quickly. So I have to really work on my technique, cross grain patterns, things like that, to try to get the neck well. All right, well there we go. That's the shave. It looks like I added 1.5 teaspoons of water. I don't think I refilled. Dang it. I know, yeah, I think I must have. I think I did, I think I did refill because I know I did 1 teaspoon right away. And then I did another one. So this is probably the second syringe. If that's the case, then that's 3.5 teaspoons of water. If I didn't refill it, it's just 1.5 teaspoons of water. Man, my memory, my brain's going. Can't remember. How much lather did I have left over? Well, that 30 seconds turned out to be pretty much perfect. I have enough lather for another pass if I had a troubleshooting pass to do or just needed more touch-ups for whatever reason. I've got plenty enough lather to do that. So in terms of economy, looks like for me with the pressure I use with this particular brush, which is kind of scrubby, 30 seconds seems about right. So that scent was kind of spicy and warm. Prix de Provence 63 is a similar scent. So I think this is on my skin, usually best applied when I've got a little water on my skin. My face is mostly dry, so I'm using a little bit more so that the friction of applying it doesn't agitate my skin. Yeah, that smells good. Yeah, in my opinion, I think those two scents go really well together. This is a very good soap, a very economical soap to get. The Prix de Provence, it comes in a really hard puck. It may be about $17 up front, but it'll last so long that by the time you cost it out per shave, it's a really, really cheap alternative, but it's a quality soap. It's got a nice, manly, warm, spicy smell to it. So highly recommended from me. So there we go. Great shave. Nice scent. I'm really happy. The Kaboom did seem to open up a little bit when lathered, as opposed to the dry smell of the puck. So I was really glad for that strength, and the scent was just right on the money. The brush did well, you know, for what it is. Hopefully it's in training to have the tip soften up a little bit. So I'm glad to put on another use for that. Use number 106 on the blade went just fine. It is, you know, it is starting to give me not a great result right here. You know, in terms of the number of uncut hairs is kind of growing, but that also could be because this little razor, the geometry just is starting to be not quite so efficient with this old blade as the Sheraton. So the next time I'll use this blade, I'll use the Sheraton, and we'll see what kind of cut I get then. All right, well, hey, I hope there was something here for you. I think it's about time to close up shop for tonight. Go hit the sack. You take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.